I need everyone to stop whatever they are doing right this second. Put down your iced coffees, pull your cars over to the side of the road.
Literally pull over right now.
Cancel your evening plans. Because the mid-season trailer for Next Gen NYC just dropped, and it features a love rectangle so chaotic, so fundamentally earth-shattering, that it has completely rewired my brain.
Oh my gosh, my brain is mush.
It changed everything I thought I knew about this friend group.
Yeah.
I am literally unwell. I am spiraling. We are looking at a betrayal of bro code proportions that is going to go down in Bravo history.
It is, honestly, it's the reality television equivalent of discovering a massive structural flaw in the foundation of a skyscraper you've been living in for months. Just absolute, unadulterated, beautifully messy devastation.
Yes, the web of lies. The sheer audacity, the absolute hypocrisy of it all.
I have watched that trailer frame by frame like I am an architectural engineer looking for the exact moment the steel beams buckled. I have taken screenshots.
Yeah, you have.
I have analyzed the ambient lighting in the background of the club scenes to definitively establish the timeline of the hookups. I am losing my mind.
Babes, welcome back. We love you, we see you, and honestly, if our lives were filmed in New York, the producers would be begging us to stop talking over each other and actually finish a story.
They really would. The confessional producers would just be sitting behind the camera, rubbing their temples, you know, like whispering, like, can we just get one linear thought, please?
Right. Just one complete sentence before you pivot to a new theory.
But we can't. We are aggressively caffeinated, we are deeply invested, and we are coming to you live from the Snark side.
And Snark Squad, you already know what time it is. We have the lychee martinis on deck, poured all the way to the absolute brim, because tonight feels like a rooftop in Manhattan kind of evening.
Heavy on the lychee, heavy on the vodka.
Exactly. So grab your glass, grab your emotional support water, grab whatever gets you through. Cheers to you, babes, for surviving another day of adulthood. We made it.
Clink, clink. Adulthood is a complete scam, but these lychee martinis are the undeniable truth.
Okay, before we lay out the overarching architecture of the absolute madness we witnessed on our screens this week, we have to do our daily debrief.
Oh, we have to.
The highs and lows of the workday, dentist edition. Because we might be reality TV sociologists by night, but by day, we are out here in these literal trenches looking at people's molars and bicuspids. You go first. Hit me with the high.
Okay, so my high today was actually a miracle of modern endodontic science. I had a ridiculously complex root canal scheduled for the afternoon. We were talking heavily calcified canals, a terrified patient who was gripping the armrests like they were on a roller coaster.
Oh no, the white knuckle grip, I know it well.
Exactly, the absolute works. I had blocked out 2 full hours for this procedure. I was mentally prepared for a war of attrition, basically doing deep breathing exercises in the supply closet next to the gauze before I walked in.
Just hyperventilating next to the fluoride trays.
Literally. And somehow, it went off without a single hitch. Smooth as butter, I found the canal instantly, the patient didn't feel a thing, and I finished the entire process in 45 minutes.
Stuck it. 45 minutes.
Yes, I felt like a dental deity. I was practically floating down the hallway.
Oh my gosh, I love that for you. That is the professional equivalent of parallel parking an SUV in a tiny spot on a busy street on the first try while a group of judgmental men is watching.
It so is.
It just fundamentally rewires your confidence and makes you feel completely invincible.
I was ready to take on the world. But the low, the low. Let me paint a deeply tragic picture for you. It is 11:17 a.m.
Oh, the dreaded hour. The absolute trench of the day.
The absolute pit of existential despair. I look at the clock on the wall. It says 11:17. I have already seen 4 consecutive patients. I have explained the basic mechanics of flossing to a grown adult who looked at me like I was speaking ancient Aramaic.
Why do they never know how to floss?
I have no idea. My schedule is booked completely solid until 5:30 in the evening. There is no gap. There is 0 white space on my digital calendar. And I currently have a patient in the chair who wants to tell me a highly detailed, sprawling, 20-minute narrative about their cousin's neighbor's golden retriever.
Wait, while you're working on them?
Yes. They're trying to dictate this novel to me while I have my hands, a dental mirror, and a high-speed suction tube physically anchored inside their mouth.
No. Why is that a universal phenomenon? Why do they do that?
They're just like, ah, ga, 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 gesturing wildly with their hands. And I'm just looking at them, eyes wide above my mask, thinking, sir, please do not move your tongue an inch to the left. I am holding a carbide drill that spins at 400,000 revolutions per minute.
That is so terrifying.
Dentistry is truly fundamentally equal parts healthcare and customer service, just executed with high-speed power tools. You are playing therapist, hostage negotiator, and surgeon all at the exact same time while listening to smooth jazz elevator music.
It is so painfully accurate. It's like, I am so incredibly sorry that your wife of 20 years just left you, but I really desperately need you to bite down on this extremely uncomfortable piece of sharp cardboard so I can take a bite-wing x-ray.
Right. Like, cry, but cry with your mouth wide open. What was your high today?
So my high today was actually in the break room, providing that necessary psychological release. My coworker, you know, the hygienist who missed her calling as a stand-up comedian?
Oh, she's hilarious.
She was doing a dead-on, Oscar-worthy impression of our clinic director trying to figure out how to navigate the new cloud-based scheduling software. I was laughing so hard I completely lost motor function and spilled scalding coffee all down the front of my script.
Oh my gosh, no.
Yes. But it is those little beautiful moments of shared corporate delusion that actually get you through the day.
Break room comedy is elite. It is the glue that holds the medical profession together.
Yeah.
What was your low?
My low was definitively a patient who tested my absolute last, frayed, hanging by a microscopic thread nerve. They came in 25 minutes late to a 30-minute appointment, holding a massive, sweating iced coffee.
Of course. It's always an iced coffee.
Always. And then they had the sheer, unmitigated audacity to complain to the front desk that they had to wait 5 minutes for me to finish with the emergency patient I took in their place.
And the nerve of some people, I swear.
And then, when I finally get them in the chair, they refuse to let me recline it because laying back messes up their body's natural aura alignment.
Wait, what? Their aura alignment.
I am not making this up.
Are we performing holistic chakra balancing cavity fillings now?
I had to do a composite filling on a lower molar while they were basically sitting at a rigid 90-degree angle staring straight ahead. My lower lumbar spine is currently screaming in agony. I need a chiropractor just to process the memory.
You need workers' comp for that aura.
It's fine. It's totally fine. My life lately is just a multi-camera sitcom where the laugh track is completely broken and the writers are on strike.
Honestly, same. Just adulting in general right now feels like a highly elaborate prank being played by the universe.
100%.
This morning, my highly expensive, absurdly fancy espresso machine, like the specific one I bought to mathematically stop spending money at artisanal coffee shops, just decided to completely give up the ghost.
Oh no, did it die?
It made this horrifying mechanical screeching noise, spit out a cloud of hot steam like an angry dragon, and died on my counter, so I had to go to the coffee shop anyway, where I stood in line and spent $8 on an oat milk latte that tasted like Brent hopes and absolute defeat.
See, this is the universe aggressively humbling you. It's telling you that you simply cannot have nice things.
It really is. It hates me.
My sitcom moment today was the classic quick errand trap. I just needed to go to CVS to buy one single solitary item. Contact solution, that's it. A tactical strike. In and out, it should take a maximum of 10 minutes.
Oh, I know where this is going.
I walk through those sliding doors. The fluorescent lights hit me, and suddenly I'm in a full dissociative fugue state. I'm aimlessly wandering the aisles. I am intensely analyzing the nutritional value of seasonal Halloween candy. I'm having a deep internal debate about whether I need a new pumice stone for my shower.
The CVS trance is so real.
I finally get to the checkout. The self-checkout machine has a total meltdown over an unexpected item in the bagging area and screams, "Please wait for assistance." And by the time I emerge blinking into the sunlight, an entire hour has evaporated from my timeline, and I have a plastic bag full of things I absolutely do not need.
Let me guess. You probably forgot the contact solution.
I actually remembered the contact solution, miraculously, but I also bought a random bottle of biotin gummies I will never remember to take, a travel-sized lint roller, and a physical magazine. Who dyes magazines?
Literally no one since 2012.
And then I go to the grocery store, I spend $150, I lug all the heavy canvas bags up 3 flights of stairs, I meticulously organize and put everything away in the fridge. 2 hours later, I open the fridge to make dinner, and I swear to you, there is absolutely nothing to eat.
Nothing. It's just ingredients.
Just an array of artisanal condiments, some rapidly wilting spinach, and a singular, lonely string cheese.
How does this phenomenon happen? Is adulthood just the process of paying exorbitant utility bills while wandering around your own house trying to remember why you walked into a room?
Yes, that is the exact dictionary definition.
Mhm.
You walk into the kitchen, stare blankly at the $150 worth of specialized condiments, slowly close the door, and then order $25 worth of Thai takeout on a high-interest credit card.
It is a sickness.
It is a vicious, unending cycle of economic self-sabotage. And we haven't even talked about the absolute digital chaos that was the group chat today.
Oh my gosh, the group chat was a literal war zone today. Babes, our group chat started going off before the sun had even breached the horizon. It was 5:45 a.m., and my phone is just aggressively vibrating off the nightstand. Bing, ding, ding, ding.
So stressed just looking at it.
Someone is having a full existential crisis about the punctuation in a text a guy sent them at 2 a.m. Someone else is sending Zillow links to $5 million houses we absolutely cannot afford, and I'm just lying there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, thinking, I have to drill into human bone today. Please release me from this digital prison.
Which brings us perfectly to our favorite shared delusion, our ultimate coping mechanism. If we just abandoned the high-speed power tools, dropped our responsibilities, and moved to New York City for a year.
Oh, let's completely indulge in this. Where exactly are we living? Because in my head, I am not living in a realistic, cramped, fifth-floor walk-up in deep Brooklyn with a roommate who plays the bass.
Absolutely not.
I am living in a wildly expensive multi-million-dollar West Village brownstone that I have somehow, through sheer force of delusion, convinced myself I can comfortably afford on a dentist's salary.
Oh, absolutely. We have a stoop. We have creeping green ivy on the historic red brick.
Huh.
We are literal neighbors with Sarah Jessica Parker, and we exchange very subtle, knowing nods when we check our mail in the morning.
Obviously.
My main character morning routine would be so incredibly obnoxious it would border on offensive. I would wake up at 7 a.m., naturally, completely unprompted by an alarm as the soft golden Manhattan sunlight filters through my sheer linen curtains.
Sickening. I love it.
I would throw on an effortlessly chic, monochromatic cashmere lounge set, because in this specific fantasy, my body temperature is perfectly regulated and I do not sweat. And I would walk down to this very specific hyper-aesthetic coffee shop on the corner.
Oh, the one with the distressed exposed brick, the hanging Edison bulbs that offer zero actual illumination, and a brooding barista named Finn who wears a tiny beanie and tells you about the screenplay he's writing about the gig economy.
Yes, exactly that one. And I would sit in the prime window seat with my $10 matcha latte, and I would open my sleek silver laptop, and I would pretend to be writing the next great American novel.
But really, what is actually happening?
I am just aggressively scrolling TikTok for 2 consecutive hours while looking mysteriously out the window every time someone walks by with a cute French bulldog, hoping someone takes a candid photo of me for a mood board.
And then, inevitably, because this is our wildly delusional New York fantasy, we would accidentally end up cast on a Bravo reality show. It's written in the stars.
It's basically our destiny.
We'd be at some trendy brunch place in Soho. You would accidentally spill a drop of your bottomless mimosa on a woman's Hermes Birkin bag. That woman would turn out to be a current cast member. A highly verbal argument would ensue. The camera crew would pivot to capture our reactions, and boom.
We are overnight stars.
6 months later, we are full-time cast members holding giant apples or diamonds or whatever the ceremonial prop of the day is, doing confessionals in full glam.
We would be the messy best friends who don't even have our own storylines. We just sit in the corner of the extravagant cast parties, judging everyone's fashion choices and whispering our highly analytical takes behind our manicured hands.
But let's be completely brutally real for a second. It would take exactly 2 weeks, 14 days maximum, before the shiny delusion wore off, and we started complaining about the infrastructure like native New Yorkers.
Oh, for sure.
The very first time I have to wait 25 minutes for an R train in a sweltering underground station smelling of unidentifiable damp fluids in mid-August, the romance of the city is completely dead.
R.I.P. to the Cashmere Lounge set.
The first time a pigeon aggressively dive bombs my head while I'm trying to peacefully carry an everything bagel down the sidewalk, I am immediately packing my bags, breaking my lease, and fleeing back to the quiet safety of the suburbs.
The pigeons in New York operate on a different frequency. They have absolutely zero fear of humans. They will look you dead in the eye, assess your weaknesses, and demand your carbs.
They are tiny feathered muggers.
But babes, enough about our own beautifully chaotic lives. Let's head to Next Gen NYC, where everyone has a dream, a situationship, and a brunch reservation they're definitely late for.
Let's get entirely into it. Season 2, Episode 6. Today, we are dissecting the intricate architecture of a reality TV scandal. We are looking at how these cast members utilize PR tactics, weaponize financial leverage, and employ raw psychological manipulation to secure their screen time and control their narratives.
Stark besting.
We are diving straight into the deep end of the East River, right into the messy, radioactive aftermath of the Brooklyn Halloween party. We have to start with the chaotic epicenter. We are talking about Mr. Charlie Zakkour and Emira D'Spain.
Okay. Set the scene for the Snark Squad, because the interpersonal tension here was significantly thicker than the foam on my ruined $8 matcha this morning. We left off last week with a massive cliffhanger.
A literal edge-of-your-seat moment.
Georgia pulled Emira aside and delivered the absolute bombshell that Charlie had made a wildly inappropriate, highly offensive, and explicitly transphobic comment, essentially alleging to the group that Emira's boyfriend Kevin is actually gay.
Which, let's just pause the tape right there. The sheer audacity of Charlie. The blatant, casual disrespect to vocalize something so damaging.
It's repulsive.
But what is truly fascinating here isn't just the comment itself, it is the immediate aftermath. We aren't even starting with the face-to-face confrontation, we are starting with the digital paper trail, the text messages. And you know, I absolutely live for when the editors throw the text bubbles right up on the screen in high definition.
Give me the receipts every time.
Let's clinically analyze Charlie's damage control strategy because it is a terrifying masterclass in psychological manipulation.
It really is. He texts Emira, and instead of leading with a massive, groveling, unequivocal apology, he types out this paragraph claiming that he's just collateral damage in a war that Georgia is allegedly waging against him.
The spin is dizzying.
Collateral damage. He uses military terminology, like he was just an innocent civilian bystander walking down the street minding his own business when a road bomb of gossip completely exploded next to him.
Let's look at the actual structural mechanics of this text message. Notice what is missing. He cannot physically bring his thumbs to type the words, "I am sorry." It is like his smartphone keyboard has fundamentally removed those letters from his interface. Instead, he utilizes a classic psychological tactic, DARVO. Deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender.
Oh, this is exactly what it is. Break that down for the listeners because it was textbook.
So DARVO is what manipulators use when confronted with their own bad behavior. First, they deny the behavior. Then, they attack the individual doing the confronting. Finally, they reverse the roles of victim and offender.
Wow.
Charlie is turning his own toxic trash talk, his own highly offensive statement, into an indictment of Georgia, the person who simply exposed it. He writes, "I know you're a very important friend to me." Right, but what is he actually saying there? If you translate that from manipulator speak, it means, I know you are my only viable link to staying relevant on this television show, so if I don't socially tether myself to you right now, my screen time is dead and my Bravo check is gone. He is pulling a psychological heist right in front of our eyes.
But then we move from the text to the actual physical confrontation, the bar scene. They meet up for drinks to hash this out. And I have to admit, my stomach was in knots. I was holding my breath.
I was sweating.
Emira walks in looking absolutely stunning, obviously, dressed to intimidate, and she looks ready to completely demand answers. She sits down, looks across the table, and asks him, point blank, "Did you say it?"
And this is where we witness the birth of the Charlie heist. Yes, he doesn't say yes, he doesn't say no. He looks her in the eye and says, I don't remember saying that, but it does sound like something I would say.
I physically jolted on my couch. What do you mean you don't remember, but it sounds like you?
I yelled at my television.
That is not an innocent statement. That is a guilty plea, wrapped in a convenient memory lapse, shoved inside a non-apology, and tied with a bow of plausible deniability.
It is brilliant, evil conversational Jenga. But watch how he frames the rest of the conversation. He is slowly pulling out the foundational blocks of Georgia's credibility. He leans in, lowers his voice to that intimate register, and says to Emira, I think we're both smart enough to know that it was an evil move of Georgia to bring up.
Whoa.
Look at the intense psychological cornering there. We are both smart enough. He is creating an exclusive intellectual club of two. If Emira pushes back, if she disagrees and says, actually, Charlie, Georgia was right to tell me as my friend, she is subconsciously accepting that she isn't smart enough to see the supposed truth.
That is so twisted.
He is literally forcing her into an alliance against Georgia just so Emira can maintain her own self-perception of being intelligent. The fans online were watching this and completely melting down, calling it out in real time.
I know the fans are absolutely furious with how this played out. But can I just step in and offer a different framework for a second? can I try to deeply analyze why Emira reacted the way she did, instead of just being mad at her?
I am bracing myself for this sociological defense. Proceed. Let's hear the theory.
Look, I get it. The comment Charlie made was undeniably horrible. It was deeply problematic and hurtful. But we have to look at Emira's reality. This isn't just a random guy at a bar. This is her established friend group. This is her social ecosystem. And more importantly, it is her workplace.
True.
This is a television show where group cohesion equals survival. Charlie has been in her orbit for years. I think, from a psychological standpoint, Emira is falling into the trap of the cool girl trope.
The cool girl who doesn't let things bother her.
Exactly. She is performing a specific type of detached femininity. She thinks that a good brunch, a heart-to-heart conversation over cocktails, and a hug can mend deep-seated character flaws.
Which is delusional.
Maybe, but I think part of her rapid-fire forgiveness is rooted in her own attachment style. She wants to project to the audience, and to Charlie, that she is so insanely secure in her relationship with Kevin that this external noise cannot even penetrate their bubble.
Okay, I see where you're going.
She probably looks at Charlie, sees a messy, single guy desperately stirring up drama for a storyline, and thinks, my man and I have a real life together. Why would I let this desperate ploy ruin my entire summer and divide my friend group? She gave him a free pass because she calculated that holding on to the anger and demanding accountability is just too exhausting and messy for her brand.
That is an incredibly generous, highly academic reading of the situation. And while I understand the pressure of the cool girl complex, I am vehemently pushing back on this outcome.
I figured you would.
You simply cannot just brunch away transphobic, targeted rumors about your partner. A hug and a cocktail do not fix a fundamental rot in someone's character. By giving him a complete, unearned free pass without making him sweat, without making him genuinely sit in the discomfort and acknowledge exactly why what he said was so deeply offensive to an entire marginalized community, she is actively choosing to be a doormat.
A doormat is a little harsh, don't you think?
I don't. She is demonstrating to him that there are absolutely zero consequences for his verbal recklessness. He didn't just insult her boyfriend's sexuality, he insulted her entire shared reality with her partner. And for her to just sip her drink, say, it'll take a minute to process, but we'll get to a good place, and hug him, it was completely toothless. It lacked any moral spine.
You don't think it's just her strategically picking her battles in a toxic environment?
No, I think it's her prioritizing her screen time and the path of least resistance over holding a toxic man accountable for his bigotry. And the absolute worst part, the most maddening part, it completely worked.
It really did.
Charlie successfully executed the Darvo playbook and deflected all of the heat onto Georgia. The messenger was dragged into the town square and shot. Now George is on the outs, her character is being questioned, and Charlie gets to sit there sipping his expensive drink like he just won a multi-dimensional game of chess. It is a terrifying study in how manipulative men fail upward.
It truly is wild how quickly and seamlessly the target on the wall moved from Charlie to Georgia. George is out here doing the difficult thing, trying to warn her friend about what is being said behind her back, and suddenly she is being painted as the villain of the season.
It's ridiculous.
But speaking of Georgia, we absolutely have to mention Riley Burris in the after show, because she provided the exact comedic relief this heavy storyline needed. Riley is smartly, tactically keeping her hands completely clean of this radioactive Charlie and Emira drama, but she used her designated camera time to deliver the most hilarious, hyper-specific observational shade at George's expense.
Oh, we have to talk about the bread comment. It was a masterclass in reality TV Greek chorus commentary.
Yes. Riley's sitting there, looking immaculate, and she starts deeply judging Georgia's bizarre snacking habits. Apparently, Georgia has this chaotic, completely inexplicable culinary rule about eating in bread like Boer. She insists on hollowing out loaves of bread and putting all her assorted snacks inside them like some sort of carb-based nesting doll.
Which is deranged behavior.
Riley just looking directly down the barrel of the camera and deadpanning about how unhinged it is was the perfect palate cleanser. It reminds you that while these people are dealing with deep emotional betrayals, they're also just incredibly weird humans with bizarre habits.
Riley has perfected the art of the observant bystander. She sits back, collects her paycheck, and sharply judges people's carb intake while the rest of the group's interpersonal dynamics are completely imploding.
She's an icon.
It is why she is top-tier, essential reality TV material. She provides the grounding reality check. But we need to transition our focus because Charlie isn't the only man dropping the ball and manipulating the women in his life this week. We just watched Charlie use social manipulation to maintain his power within the friend group. But when we look at our next scenario, we see power being wielded in a much more concrete, terrifying way, direct financial control. Welcome to the Nepo baby financial crisis.
Poor Ava. My heart legitimately physically ached for her while watching this episode. We have this visceral scene where Ava gathers the core girls together, and she is giving full early 2000s teen movie tragedy realness.
Oh, she looks so sad.
She pulls the hood of her oversized sweatshirt all the way up over her head. She slides on these massive, opaque, dark sunglasses indoors. It was very reminiscent of Damien crashing the girls' assembly in Mean Girls, just yelling she doesn't even go here. And she just breaks down and starts sobbing.
It was highly cinematic. The oversized, hooded sweatshirt paired with indoor sunglasses is the international, universally understood symbol of "do not perceive me, my entire life is currently falling apart." It is the armor of the emotionally devastated.
She finally reveals to the group that her gut intuition was entirely right. She found out some information about her boyfriend, Tyler, who, by the way, goes by the nickname Hook, which, let's just pause.
Let's take a very long pause on that.
When your grown adult boyfriend willingly goes by the moniker Hook, you are basically sending out an engraved invitation to be dragged into a pirate's messy, chaotic drama.
Truly, it is a massive, waving red flag sewn directly into the fabric of his chosen name. What was the specific information she uncovered?
She didn't want to go into graphic, humiliating detail on camera, which I respect, but she basically confirmed major, undeniable, cheating red flags. Digital evidence. She confronted him with it. He couldn't deny it because he was caught dead to rights, and they broke up on the spot.
Good for her for dropping him.
And all the girls immediately rally around her on the couch for this massive, enveloping group hug. It was actually a really sweet, grounding display of female friendship. In that moment, I wanted to reach right through my television screen, hand her a mimosa, and tell her it gets better.
The emotional fallout of a betrayal like that is one thing. It's devastating. But this is where the cold, hard reality of the situation hits Ava like a runaway freight train. Because by breaking up with Hook, Ava hasn't just lost a terrible boyfriend, she has fundamentally lost her housing.
Exactly. The real world comes crashing through the reality TV bubble. Through her tears, she mentions the logistical nightmare like she has been living in Hook's apartment for the past 6 months. And now, because the relationship is over, she cannot safely or comfortably stay there. She has to pack her bags and move out immediately.
Which, in New York, is a nightmare.
You can see the exact moment the panic sets in. She is sitting on that couch, doing the mental math, realizing she has to scour the New York real estate market, find a new apartment, put down first month's rent, last month's rent, a massive security deposit, broker fees, and for the very first time in her sheltered life, she has to be completely, 100% financially independent.
And that crushing realization of adult responsibility leads us directly to one of the most darkly comedic, culturally iconic, and frankly surreal scenes of the entire television season. Ava realizes she needs liquid cash immediately, so what does she do? She FaceTimes her famous father, the one and only Damon Dash.
I was screaming at the television. I had to pause it and walk around my living room to process what I was watching.
Let's really contextualize this for a second because the historical irony here is staggering. If you had told me in the year 2004, at the absolute height of the Rockefeller Records dynasty, that in the year 2026, I would be sitting on my couch watching Damon Dash, a legendary hip-hop mogul who defined an era of extravagant wealth, on a grainy Bravo FaceTime call, being hounded by his 20-something daughter for a $5,000 loan that he owes her, I would have had you committed to a psychiatric facility.
It is wild.
It is a profound cultural shift. The man who used to pour out champagne on yachts is now broke, and he is borrowing money from his kid on national television.
It is absolute insanity. The power dynamic is completely inverted. She's looking at her phone screen, visibly stressed. She's like, Dad, I really, really need that $5,000 back right now. And you can just feel the palpable, heavy awkwardness radiating through the digital connection.
So cringe was off the charts.
But to his credit, he actually picked up the FaceTime. He knew the Bravo cameras were rolling in that room. His pride and his ego didn't stop him from participating in the storyline and showing his financial reality to the world.
Well, let's analyze why he picked up. Damon Dash knows exactly how the entertainment industry game is played. He knows Ava desperately needs a compelling solo storyline to secure her spot on the cast.
Oh, that's true.
And he probably calculates that if she stays on the show, she gets a steady Bravo paycheck, she gains influencer clout, and maybe, just maybe, he doesn't have to pay back that $5,000 right away because she's earning her own capital. It is a symbiotic grift. It's the modern reality TV ecosystem, like the child leverages the famous parent's name for cast placement, and the parent leverages the child's screen time for relevance. It's a fascinating, slightly depressing Arboros of fame.
It's the new family business.
Yeah.
But the crushing weight of financial stress isn't just hitting Ava this week. We have to pivot over to Brooks Marks. Oh, Brooks, our favorite slouchy-postured, monotone king in Utah.
I swear, every time he is on screen, it looks like he is physically melting into whatever chair he happens to be sitting in. He has the bone structure of a jellyfish.
He is getting heavily, aggressively pressured by his dad, Seth Marks, for a tangible return on investment for his supposed fashion line. Seth sits him down and is basically like, son, I put serious seed money into this venture. Where are the profit margins? Where's the revenue stream? And Brooks just blinks slowly, looking like he wants the expensive hardwood floor to open up and swallow him whole.
We need to have a serious analytical conversation about this so-called fashion line. Brooks Marks. Let's break down the Bravo-celebrity business model. Snark Squad. I need a collective show of hands through the audio raves. Who is actually legitimately clamoring for these tracksuits?
I mean, I'm sure someone is buying them.
Brooks sits in his confessionals and says he gets his design inspiration from everything, from architecture to the wind, but the entire physical line is basically just poorly tailored black sweatpants with his name printed on a singular, cheap-looking tape stripe down the leg. It is giving early 2010s mall kiosk energy.
You are so ruthlessly mean when it comes to his clothes.
I am not being mean. I am being analytically observant. I am looking at the mechanics of reality TV commerce. I am comparing it directly to the historical precedent set by Cherie Whitfield's legendary mythical fashion line, She by Cherie.
Oh my gosh, a classic.
Remember the iconic reunion moment, spring, summer, joggers? It is the exact same energy. Brooks Marks isn't trying to build a viable, competitive retail brand that will survive in the actual marketplace. He is building a prop. The fashion line only exists to secure a storyline, which secures his contract, which pays his actual salary. It's an illusion of commerce used to generate television. Seth is absolutely right as an investor to ask where the money is, because I have yet to see a single human being outside of this specific cast wear a Brooks Marks tracksuit in the wild.
Okay, that is a highly cynical but probably accurate breakdown of Bravo-celebrity businesses.
Yeah.
But Brooks's intense financial stress and defensive posturing are bleeding directly into his personal life, specifically how he is treating Shy.
Oh, poor, desperate, flailing Shy.
Shy is getting completely, brutally frozen out of the group. Ava and Brooks are actively, strategically punishing him by completely ignoring all of his text messages. And once again, the editors and producers are out here earning their Emmy nominations because they put Shy's unanswered text right on the screen for us to read. It literally says, "Hey Brooks, sorry to keep bothering you. My photo shoot is in a few weeks. Just wanted to see if you were interested in helping."
Let's dissect the psychology of that text. Starting a message to a supposed friend with the phrase, "sorry to keep bothering you," is the most pathetic, soul-crushing string of words I have ever read on this network. It completely surrenders any power in the dynamic.
That's so sad.
It is giving absolute, please notice me energy. It is giving, I will accept any tiny crumb of attention or screen time you are willing to toss my way. Shy entered this season with the reputation of being the lovable, harmless golden retriever of the group, and he has completely destroyed it because he tried to play the messy reality TV producer game and he failed spectacularly.
See, this is where my empathy kicks in. I think Brooks and Ava are being so needlessly mean. They are totally punching down at someone who is already on the floor. Shy is clearly trying to apologize. He's trying to organically include them in an event he's hosting, and they are just icing him out like he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
It's giving very toxic high school mean girl behavior. If you are mad at him, just text the boy back and say, "No, I'm not coming." Don't leave him twisting in the wind.
I completely fundamentally disagree with you on this.
You do?
Yes. Shy 100% deserves the absolute freeze out. This is about consequence culture versus punching down. You cannot actively meddle in other people's deeply personal business, spread unverified rumors on camera, try to aggressively insert yourself into Ariana's love life simply because you secretly have a massive crush on her, and then expect everyone in the group to just smile, nod, and show up to your little vanity photo shoot a week later like nothing happened.
But to just ignore him entirely.
Actions must have consequences. He wanted to be a main character. He threw a literal grenade into the delicate group dynamic to get a storyline, and now he's dealing with the painful shrapnel. Ava and Brooks are enforcing a boundary. They don't owe him a polite response. Leaving him on read is the exact, correct, tactical move to show him that his behavior is unacceptable.
You are absolutely ruthless. You have ice in your veins. I just feel bad for the guy. He's floundering on national television. He doesn't know how to swim. But speaking of making massive life moves and dealing with the heavy consequences of being in the public eye, let's transition away from financial ruin and desperation and move toward the absolute high life. We are talking about Gia Giudice's stunning New Jersey City penthouse.
The sweeping views in this apartment alone, I was practically drooling on my couch. The real estate porn was top tier.
Gia is officially, finally moving out of Teresa's house. She is spreading her wings as an adult. She has secured her own gorgeous spot in Jersey City, and it is stunning. Floor-to-ceiling windows, incredible natural light, modern finishes. And while she is unpacking cardboard boxes in this beautiful new space, she FaceTimes her dad, Juicy Joe Giudice, who is currently living his life in the Bahamas.
Seeing Juicy Joe suddenly pop up on my high-definition screen was a visceral, sensory shock to my system. I was instantly, violently transported back to the year 2012.
And here's where we have to pause and neutrally report a really heavy, very real, highly publicized moment for her family that the show captured. During this specific packing scene, Gia uses her screen time to directly address the intense public backlash she received recently for publicly asking Donald Trump to pardon her father.
And we want to be explicitly clear here, Snark Squad. We are just neutrally reporting what happened on the episode as an event. We are absolutely not taking a political side. We are not endorsing or condemning Trump, and we are not taking a moral stance on Gia's actions regarding the pardon. We are simply analyzing the mechanism of this moment, acknowledging that this real-world event happened, it generated massive national headlines, and the reality show producers made the choice not to shy away from it. It was clearly a very heavy, deeply emotional burden for Gia and her family. They are dealing with that massive level of public scrutiny and vitriol on top of the already profound, foundational pain of long-term family separation. Navigating that level of real-world trauma on a platform built for light entertainment is a fascinating clash of realities.
It really is. When you strip away all the online discourse, regardless of anything else, you can see the raw, unfiltered emotion. When she looks at her dad on that phone screen, she just misses him. It's a daughter missing her father. And seeing Joe and Teresa's dynamic play out during this call, even from afar, is wild. Teresa's there helping Gia pack up her life, and Teresa makes this offhanded, incredibly dark joke about how one day she might have to pack up and move out of Luis's house too.
I literally choked on my lychee martini when she said that. The intense foreshadowing, the gallows humor, and Joe, sitting thousands of miles away on the phone, just starts completely cracking up.
It was so funny.
Say whatever you will about their highly documented tumultuous history, but seeing Teresa and Joe laugh together, genuinely sharing an inside joke about the instability of our current marriage, it makes me so intensely, deeply nostalgic for the old school, grounded days of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. It felt authentic and lived in a way that modern, hyper-produced reality TV rarely ever does anymore.
It really did. It felt like a truly grounded, authentic family moment amidst all of the superficial chaos of the younger cast members. And keeping with that theme of family dynamics, we also got a brief but absolutely hilarious scene with Rowan and her dad, Chris Henchy.
Which I fundamentally loved. We are looking at the mechanics of a reality TV family producing actual scripted content within the reality show itself. Chris Henchy is a highly successful veteran comedy filmmaker, and he's sitting down at a table with Rowan, meticulously looking over a script she's currently writing. And they get into this completely deadpan, very serious professional argument about the logistical realities of a specific scene she wrote.
It was amazing. She passionately wants to include a scene featuring a character holding a Slurpee and a vibrator simultaneously.
Which is an incredible mental image, by the way.
And her dad is looking across the table at her with the absolute patience of a saint, trying to carefully explain the practical, televised feasibility of that specific prop combination. He's talking to her like a producer. He's like, Rowan, I just logically do not think we can get a brand name frozen beverage and an adult toy past the network standards and practices department.
He was so calm about it.
And she is completely, utterly undeterred by the corporate bureaucracy. She just stares back and says, It's my artistic vision, Dad. The comedic familial timing between them is perfect.
It was a great lighthearted look at the generational divide in content creation. But please, babes, enjoy that fleeting, wholesome family moment while you can, because we are about to throw it all directly into the garbage disposal, grind it up, and set it on fire.
Oh, no.
We just looked at family support systems. Now let's look at how relationships get absolutely demolished. We are entering the love rectangle of doom.
Oh, my heart rate is elevating just thinking about the sheer mechanics of this. So we connect these wholesome family themes directly to Ariana taking the massive step of meeting Liam's parents. And let me just state for the record, Ariana was playing the perfect girlfriend role to an absolute flawless T.
She was giving us Duchess of Cambridge levels of calculated poise. It was a masterclass in performative respectability.
She goes over to Liam's childhood home for his birthday pasta dinner. It's this big, intimidating family gathering, complete with Sunday dinner traditional vibes. She is wearing this demure, gorgeous, highly conservative outfit, like no plunging necklines here.
Very modest.
She's being incredibly polite, asking the parents engaging questions about their lives, laughing brightly at the dad's terrible jokes. I was completely swooning. It was so wholesome. And then, the ultimate grand romantic gesture, Liam officially asks her to be his girlfriend, right there at the dinner table, in front of his entire extended family. It was like something perfectly scripted out of a Hallmark movie. I was literally clutching my chest.
It was a beautiful, meticulously constructed facade, and then, bam! The reality TV editors, those sick, twisted, absolute narrative geniuses in the editing bay, violently interrupt the romance by dropping the leaked mid-season trailer right into the middle of the episode. It was like a jump scare in a horror movie.
I screamed so loud my neighbor probably heard me. I literally threw my phone across the couch cushions.
The trailer cuts in with chaotic music, and it drops the absolute, undisputed bomb of the century. Ariana didn't just play the good girl and meet Liam's parents this season. Ariana actively hooked up with Charlie during filming, while all of this was happening.
Charlie Zakkour, the exact same man who just spent the first 20 minutes of the episode psychologically manipulating Emira with Darvo tactics at a bar.
The very same manipulative maestro. The timeline of this entire season is completely irrevocably blown up. The foundational relationships of this friend group are shattered into a million pieces. We are now looking at a deeply complex web involving Ariana, Liam, the sweet new boyfriend Hudson, her lingering ex who is still aggressively hovering on the periphery, and now Charlie. An absolute radioactive love rectangle of doom.
I need to spiral aggressively about the sheer breathtaking hypocrisy of Charlie right now, because we need to analyze his pattern of behavior. Do you remember like 2 or 3 episodes ago?
Barely, so much has happened. So
Charlie was intentionally pulling Hudson aside at a party, acting like the solemn moral compass of the entire friend group. He was looking Hudson in the eye, passionately preaching the sacred tenets of bro code. He firmly told Hudson that Liam was crossing a major, unforgivable line by even talking to Ariana because she was Hudson's ex. Charlie positioned himself as the ultimate champion of the ex-boyfriend's territorial rights.
let's deconstruct the bro code for exactly what it is in this context. It is not a system of mortals. Charlie was weaponizing the concept of bro code as a sociological tool to police and control the behavior of other men, specifically Liam. He literally acted deeply, personally offended on Hudson's behalf. It was a performance of loyalty.
Pure performance.
And then off camera or in some dark, sweaty corner of a meatpacking district club, he is actively hooking up with Ariana himself. He uses the rules to restrict his competition while completely, utterly exempting himself from those same rules the second he wants something. It is the most breathtaking textbook display of hypocritical, toxic behavior I have ever witnessed. Charlie is a menace, a literal walking menace to the social fabric of Manhattan.
It is so chaotic and so deeply toxic, but honestly, as a viewer, part of me has to weirdly respect Ariana's absolute dominance of the game. She has all of the messy men of Manhattan in an absolute undeniable chokehold.
She really does. They are obsessed.
They are completely, hopelessly obsessed with her. Liam is risking it all to ask her out in front of his conservative mother. Hudson is pathetically pining over her from across the room. And Charlie is abandoning his own loudly broadcasted fake morals just to get near her.
Do you know who is watching this specific episode and just bursting with overwhelming maternal pride? Her mother.
The icon, Kim Zolciak.
I guarantee you, right now, Kim Zolciak is sitting on her plush couch in Atlanta, holding a massive red solo cup full of barefoot Moscato, watching Ariana effortlessly juggle 3 desperate men and a Bravo camera crew, and she is shedding a single proud tear of joy. She trained her daughter for this exact moment. This is the Zolciak Biermann reality TV legacy in full, glorious action. She taught her how to be the absolute center of gravity in any ensemble cast.
I taught her well. She is the star. It is incredible, undeniable television. But as much as I want to keep unpacking the psychology of Charlie's portrayal, we need to try and contain our spiraling, because we have superlatives to hand out. Let's keep the caffeinated banter flowing and move right into crowning the main character of Manhattan for this week.
You know the drill, Snark Squad. We debate the superlatives, we analyze the impact, and we crown the royalty of the episode. Who carried the narrative, who dropped the best line, and who is the undeniable MVP? Let's start right at the top with episode MVP. Who do you have taking the crown?
I am giving my MVP to Ava. Showing up to a camera-ready event in a giant hooded sweatshirt, completely eschewing glam to put her raw, ugly-crying heartbreak on television, and then having the sheer guts to ask Damon Dash for her $5,000 back on national television.
Nick was brave.
That is star behavior. She is giving us emotional vulnerability paired with intense financial panic, which is a highly relatable duality for our generation. Who is your MVP?
I hear your argument, but honestly, I am giving episode MVP to Juicy Gia Giudice.
Really? A 3-minute FaceTime cameo gets the MVP over Ava's financial crisis. Defend this choice immediately.
I will happily defend it. That brief FaceTime call provided more genuine emotional weight, more historical reality TV nostalgia, and more unscripted, authentic connection than half the main cast managed to produce in an entire hour. He didn't even have to physically be in the same country to completely steal the scene.
That's a fair point.
Just him looking at the screen saying, "How's your stomach, Trey?" and laughing on a delayed Caribbean internet connection was the emotional anchor of the episode. It grounded the show in reality. Okay, best one-liner.
This one is indisputable. It has to be Riley Burr's. Hands down. No competition. You can't just eat your snacks inside a hollowed-out loaf of bread, Georgia, that isn't a meal plan. That's a cry for help.
Oh my gosh, it was so good.
The flat, deadpan delivery.
Yeah.
The absolute withering judgment in her eyes. Hand her an Emmy immediately.
It was comedic perfection.
Okay, what was the biggest surprise of the episode for you?
The biggest surprise, and frankly the biggest disappointment, was Emira giving Charlie a total, unimpeded free pass. Based on the build-up, I genuinely thought we were going to get a table flip, or at the very least, a dramatic drink throw to the face. I fully expected her to hold his feet to the fire and demand a public apology. Instead, we got a weak hug and a let's move past this. I am still recovering from the shock of that narrative anticlimax.
I completely agree. The total lack of resistance was shocking and deeply frustrating to watch. Okay, most chaotic energy. I feel like this is glaringly obvious, but let's state it for the record. It's Charlie. Charlie manipulating that high-stakes bar conversation so smoothly, shifting the tectonic plates of the entire group's narrative until he expertly convinced Emira that Georgia, the woman who simply repeated his own toxic words, was the actual true villain of the story. It is dark, calculated, chaotic energy is chaotic evil personified.
It is genuinely scary how naturally good he is at executing those psychological tactics. And finally, the brunch date. If you could pull one cast member out of the television, take them to brunch this weekend, who are you choosing?
I am taking Ava. She needs it the most.
Me too. We are taking Ava together. It's a joint intervention.
We are sitting her down at a private, quiet corner table at Balthazar. We are ordering a massive, decadent tower of French pastries. We are buying her bottomless lychee and mimosas until the pain fades.
We're going to hold both of her hands tightly across the white tablecloth, look her deep in the eyes, and sternly tell her that her next boyfriend will be way hotter, significantly richer, and absolutely will not be named after a pirate's prosthetic limb.
Absolutely not.
We are going to remind her of her inherent value. We are going to tell her that you do not go shoe shopping when you are barefoot, meaning you do not settle for the very first guy who gives you a crumb of attention just because you are feeling lonely and vulnerable. She is reality TV royalty, and she needs to remember her worth.
Brunch therapy. It is a proven science. It solves everything. Okay, moving on to my absolute favorite part of our debrief. The group chat leaked.
This is where we pretend, through the power of imagination, that we have maliciously hacked the cast's private iMessage group chat, and we read the fake text they definitely, absolutely sent each other immediately after these specific scenes wrapped. You start us off.
Okay, here's the highly tense group chat with Brooks, Ava, and Rowan. New message from Shy. Hey guys, I saw a pigeon on the subway today that kind of looked like Hudson from the side. Miss you all so much. Let me know if anyone wants to grab coffee this week. I'm completely free.
Oh, that's so sad.
Read by Brooks at 2:15 p.m. Read by Ava at 2:15 p.m. Read by Rowan at 2:16 p.m. New message from Brooks in a separate, highly secure side chat directly to Ava. If Shy texts this main group one more time trying to force a hangout, I am physically throwing my iPhone into the deepest part of the Hudson River.
Brutal.
Yeah.
But completely accurate to their dynamic. Okay, here's the frantic, panicking text thread between Charlie and Hudson, sent exactly 3 seconds after the mid-season trailer dropped online.
Wait on me.
Charlie,
Bro.
you have to listen to me. That trailer was edited so crazy by the producers. They are totally taking things completely out of context. Bro code forever, you know me. I would never do that to you.
Lies.
Hudson. Bro, it literally showed a high-definition clip of you making out with Ariana in a photo booth. I saw tongues.
So gross.
Bro, I swear on my life, it was just the weird club lighting. I was actually just leaning in and whispering a very important secret directly into her mouth so nobody else could hear. Don't let the producers get in your head and ruin our friendship.
Whispering a secret into her mouth. I am absolutely deceased. That is exactly verbatim the kind of insane gaslighting excuse he would try to deploy. Okay, here is a late-night, highly chaotic text thread from Ariana.
Oh, I can't wait.
Ariana. Hey, baby. Had such an amazing time with your parents tonight. You look so incredibly hot in that cable knit sweater. Liam. Thanks, babe. It meant a lot to me. My mom absolutely loved you.
So sweet.
Ariana. Wait, Liam. Sorry. That text was meant for someone else. My mom loved you too. Liam. Who was it meant for? Ariana. Oops. Sorry. My phone was just hacked by the deep state. My screen is freezing. Going to sleep now. Bye.
She oops texted the wrong guy in her own love rectangle. It's too real. It hurts. I can't. Let's pivot to our NYC survival rankings.
We take this cast and we rank who would actually survive one full calendar year in New York City if we stripped away all of their immense privilege. No family money, no industry connections, no rich parents to FaceTime for a loan, and we completely delete their Instagram accounts so they couldn't get easy brand sponsorship.
I bid all out.
Just a monthly Metro card, a dream, and a minimum wage job.
Let's talk about best hustle. Out of this group of trust fund kids who actually knows how to work.
Honestly, analyzing their work ethics, I have to give best hustle to Rowan. She is actively writing scripts. She is sitting down, taking structural notes from her father. She understands the fundamental concept of a deadline and a deliverable.
Yeah, she actually does work.
I think if you stripped her of her last name, she could easily get a grueling job as a PA on a gritty indie film set, run coffees for 14 hours a day, and actually methodically work her way up the ladder. She has that quiet, grinding determination.
That's a really solid call. She isn't afraid of the unglamorous parts of the industry. What about most resourceful? Who is surviving purely by their wits and social engineering?
Georgia. 100% Georgia. That girl will grift however she absolutely has to. She would find some desperate tech bro living in Murray Hill and convince him to let her live in his luxury high-rise apartment completely for free in exchange for managing his personal aesthetic and reorganizing his closet.
She totally would. She would figure out exactly how to sneak through the kitchen doors of exclusive charity galas just to eat the free high-end hors d'oeuvre for dinner. She is a survivor in the concrete jungle.
You can't prostitute yourself out for central air conditioning, as the old reality TV adage goes. But Georgia might certainly try. Okay, let's look at the other end of the spectrum. First person to move back home. The absolute weakest link in the cast.
Oh, Brooks. Without a shadow of a doubt, it isn't even a competition.
Brooks would not last 48 hours in the actual trenches of the city.
Yeah.
The very second the radiator in his cramped pre-war apartment starts violently clanking like a ghost at 3 a.m., or the window AC unit drips dirty condensation onto his pristine tracksuit, he's immediately booking a Delta first-class flight, fleeing back to the pristine, quiet mountains of Utah.
He would be gone so fast.
He simply cannot handle the grit or the sensory overload. He sits like he has zero core strength. He cannot physically climb a fifth-floor walk-up every day with groceries.
Exactly. The mountains of Utah are aggressively calling his name. And finally, most likely to accidentally become famous. The person who doesn't even try but fails upward into virality.
It has to be Shy.
Yes, absolutely Shy.
Shy would just be standing sadly in the neon background of Times Square, desperately holding his phone up to the sky, trying to get a signal to see if Brooks finally texted him back. And he would accidentally end up in the background of a massive TikTok dance video that gets 50 million views overnight.
And everyone would be obsessed with him.
People in the comments would be like, who is the sad, brooding, cute boy in the back looking at his phone? And he would get a major modeling contract out of sheer, dumb, unearned luck.
He would literally stumble backwards into global fame while desperately looking for basic validation from a guy who sells tape-striped sweatpants. It's the most tragic yet inevitable shy outcome possible. All right, let's look ahead. Get your crystal balls out. What is the next friendship fallout we're going to see on our screens?
Emira and Georgia. It is mathematically guaranteed. Emira has officially, publicly chosen the manipulative man over the messy but truthful messenger. Georgia is a proud person. She is not going to take that lying down.
Oh, she's going to be so mad.
Once Georgia realizes she is being strategically iced out of the group because Charlie expertly spun the narrative, she is going to go completely scorched earth on Emira. She will expose every secret. The fallout is going to be incredibly loud and damaging.
I agree. The tectonic plates are shifting. Next, unexpected romance. Let's wildly speculate on the timeline of this Ariana and Charlie hookup because I need to understand the logistics.
Okay, here is my definitive theory. I think the hookup happened before she went to New Jersey and met Liam's parents, but after Liam asked her to be exclusive, I think they were all at some dark, sweaty, crowded club in the meatpacking district. Liam went to the bathroom for 5 minutes, Hudson was drunkenly looking the other way, and Charlie just opportunistically swooped in like a vulture.
It's the only timeline that makes Charlie's subsequent preaching about bro code that delicious and sociopathic. Okay, next career pivot.
Brooks is going to be forced to abandon the tracksuits. The financial pressure from Seth is just too much, and the margins aren't there. He's going to pivot to something even more obscure, less profitable, and requiring less effort. I'm predicting bespoke, artisanal shoelaces, or luxury, monogrammed, leather-bound dustpans. You will call it Brooks Mark Sweeps.
I draw my design inspiration from the literal dirt on the floor, he'll say, in that flat vocal fry monotone. I love it. It's brilliant. Okay, give me one ridiculous prediction that somehow feels entirely possible within the twisted reality of this specific show.
Damon Dash is going to boldly ask one of Ava's younger castmates for a bridge loan on camera.
Oh my God, I just got full body chills.
He is going to show up to one of Brix's tracksuit launch events, pull poor, desperate Shy aside into a corner and be like, "Hey, young blood, I like your hustle. You got some crypto you can front me for a week. I'm good for it."
That is so incredibly dark, and yet I can see it playing out in 4K resolution on my television screen. It is completely plausible. That is exactly why this show is premium, top-tier television.
Babes, I am physically exhausted. My heart rate has been sitting at 120 beats per minute for the last hour. We have unpacked so much psychological trauma, so much masterful manipulation, and so many terrible, unforgivable fashion choices. We need to hear from you. Snark Squad, this is your designated time to sound off and join the therapy session.
We want you in the comments, in our DMs, shouting from the digital rooftops. First, tell us about your real lives. What was the absolute high and the crushing low of your workday today? Let us validate your daily struggles.
Second, analyzing the social dynamics. Which cast member do you think currently possesses the strongest main character energy right now? Is it Ariana flawlessly juggling 3 men and a camera crew? Or is it Charlie playing dark puppet master with everyone's reality?
And finally, the ultimate soul-searching question. Look deep inside yourselves. Could you actually truly survive a year in New York City with nothing but a monthly Metro card and an abundance of good delusion? Be brutally honest with yourselves.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us, babes. You know, we deeply love and cherish our weekly therapy sessions with you. If you are loving dissecting the absolute chaos as much as we are, please remember to subscribe, leave us a glowing, highly detailed 5-star review because, let's be real, anything less in this economy is basically a hate crime. And share the podcast with another reality TV-loving babe in your life who needs to spiral with us.
Grow the Snark Squad. Spread the gospel of reality TV sociology. And before we let you go back to your regularly scheduled lives, we want to leave you with a final, highly provocative thought. Something to chew on while you stare at the ceiling and try to fall asleep tonight.
Think very carefully about this. If Charlie Zakkour can smoothly and successfully talk his way out of a major, undeniable public scandal on camera, with an entire friend group watching him, armed with nothing but a lychee martini and the manipulative phrase I don't remember, what exactly is he getting away with when the Bravo cameras are turned off?
Chills. Absolute terrifying chills down my spine. Sleep with one eye open, Manhattan. The manipulator is on the loose.
Dream big, stay chaotic, and we'll see you on the Snark side.